Welcome to Therapy for Photographers. Doug and Susan, thank you so much for being here. Photographers go through a lot of frustration, and I think it helps to talk about it and know that you're not alone.
I'll start. I had a wedding client. They paid half up front, $5,000. I deliver the pictures to them. It's time for them to pay me. I send them an invoice. They tell me that they overspent on their honeymoon, and now they can't pay me.
That is incredibly frustrating, Doug. My advice to you, have your attorney write a sternly written notice and tell them that they have to pay the rest of the balance. And you can also bring this to small claims court. I mean, this is enough money where this is a big problem.
I shot my friend's wedding for $50, but then they said that the meal was worth $75, but they said they'd call it even. It's okay though.
You know, working a whole wedding for a meal, that's not really acceptable. It's okay for you to set boundaries and for you to respect the value of your own work.
Okay.
Doug, have you had something like this happen to you?
Get this, my best friend's trying to sell his Porsche, right? And he wants me to take some pictures of it, and he says he'll give me a six-pack. A six-pack. Does he know what I would charge for that service?
Your friend knows you in a friendly way and not necessarily a professional way, so he might not understand how much time and effort goes into a photo shoot, and keep that in mind and try not to take it personally.
Sometimes I get really sad. Like my coworker invited me to her 30th birthday party, but then she said, "Can you bring your camera?" And I did, and then I worked her whole party.
Oh, Susan.
But she was really nice. But she said I made her look fat, so I have to go home and finish photoshopping her pictures to look like Kim Kardashian.
I'm seeing a pattern here. You really do need to establish these boundaries, and if somebody expects you to work at a party they are not your friend, I don't recommend that you edit the rest of the photos. I would tell her that you don't have time.
What's more frustrating than dealing with models? I did this photo shoot for a model. It was TFP. He has 100,000 likes on Instagram. So I took these pictures, he shared them. They're super popular, they're great pictures, but he doesn't tag me in them. So I get nothing out of it. That's what was in it for me.
This is a common one that I hear, Doug. If being tagged on your social media is something that's helpful for you and your business, you should establish that before, during, and after the photo shoot. You don't necessarily have to formally make it a part of your contract, but sometimes it just helps when you send your client the file, say, "Hey, I had a great time, I hope you like these pictures, and also please tag me on social media, it helps me out a lot." I find that people like to help, you just have to remind them.
My models do bad things too. One time my model asked me for privacy changing, and then they stole all of my camera gear. I didn't want to barge in on them.
That's really awful, I'm very, very sorry. And you're a kind person, and I think that you assume other people are kind as well. Do you have insurance on it?
I don't have insurance. I don't really get paid for a lot of my work, so money's kind of tight.
Okay, well, it's important to get insurance on your gear, okay? So you should do that immediately.
What about everybody with their cell phones? I set up this whole shoot. It took me a week. I was lining up hair and makeup and stylists, and then the day of the shoot, everything goes great. It's like in this amazing set. And then some dude steps in with his iPhone and takes a picture of it. And I see he's about to put it up on Instagram.
Well, I get that, Doug. I spent a whole week setting up like a still life. It looked so good, but my roommate said that my pictures weren't as good as hers. She took some with her phone. But I guess it's still a compliment to me because she got like 10,000 likes.
Again, you need to respect yourself as a photographer. Being a photographer is not just about the person that presses the shutter. You put a lot of work into that still life, okay? Your friend does not deserve the credit.
I mean, like, who needs credit? Maybe it would be nice.
My website is like portraits and fashion and stuff. I have this guy who contacts me and wants me to take pictures of his classic car. Like, that's not what I do. Don't you understand that?
Doug, I've had the same thing happen to me. A lot of people see photographers as simply a camera operator. They don't understand how much time and practice goes into perfecting your craft when it comes to a specific type of photography. You can educate your friend and say, "Hey, that's not the type of photography that I do." You could recommend him to someone else and have a referral relationship with another local photographer. And that way there, you could recommend him to a friend that does that type of work and maybe get 25% or whatever you work out.
I think that I can relate to this one, Doug. I've had a woman contact me and she said my rates were really reasonable. But then when I showed up to her house, she just asked me to dog sit for her because she said I charged way less than her dog sitter.
What did you do?
They never came to pick her up. Give me a kiss. She's actually kind of mean to me.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right.